Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with another brand new Mattel Jurassic World Rebirth release. As you can see, we've got the second of the Micro Adventures sets. This is the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it looks pretty much the same as the first set with the Spinosaurus did. Again, you can see we've got the really cool head sculpt of the T-Rex in there. We also, instead of the Spino, have the T-Rex down here, and then you've got some miniature figures, again some micro figures over there, and then here on the back you can basically see what we've got going on as far as the diorama this time around, and the other, again, addition to this line, which is the Spinosaurus, but I know there's also a Mosasaurus version coming that does include the D-Rex, which I assume is why that one technically hasn't started to show up yet. I don't know for sure, but I definitely can't wait to get it. But let's pop this open and check it out. So just like with the Mosasaurus set, here is everything that is included. You can see we've got the T-Rex head. We also have a Quetzalcoatlus, an Ankylosaurus, and a Tyrannosaurus Rex included as far as the micro figures go. And it looks really pretty much the same as the other one did, but really cool overall. So we're going to, just like we did last time, readjust the camera, and we'll bring in our little micro figures. First of all, you can see the Quetzalcoatlus, which does look pretty cool. Definitely looks quite reminiscent to the way we have seen it again from the trailers and everything. Definitely has that nice head sculpt. You actually have a little variation of color with some blues there in the wings of the Quetzalcoatlus. It's definitely in a flying position, which looks pretty fun. Then you've got an Ankylosaurus here. The Ankylosaurus also looks pretty cool. It's got a little variation of color with some different shades of browns and some lighter tones and stuff, standing on a nice clear again, translucent piece right there that I imagine would attach somewhere to the inside of the playset. And then we also have ourselves a T-Rex with the mouth wide open. Not a whole lot of color or anything on this one. A little bit of a darker tone moving over the back, but that's really about it. Again, definitely not the best sculpts or detail or anything as far as these figures go, but they're fun for what they are. However, once you bring in the actual playset itself, you can see the head sculpt of this T-Rex looks really cool. Definitely some super impressive fine detail. Those scales are beyond impressive. Again, these newer Tyrannosaurs from Mattel are probably some of the best they've ever released, especially when it comes to the sheer amount of, again, impressive sculpt work. And you can see that here just moving along the lower jaw. But you have a nice light gray for the lower jaw, a darker gray for the upper side. You also have some darker grays that pattern there through like the palate area. Again, really impressive scale detail throughout. You as well have a darker tone that circles around the eye, and then a yellow eye with a black pupil. And if you look at it from the front, it's definitely a little bit thick, a little bit wide, so it looks slightly awkward, but the entire head is kind of compact, which is okay, again, for what it is. It's just meant to be a really fun play set. You can see the nostrils and everything as you move around, and again, it looks pretty much the same from the opposing side. And just like with the Spino, you can technically like use the back here to make it roar and bite or whatever you want to do. But once you open it up, this one sits a little differently than the Spino. It kind of sits up with the upper jaw just in a straight up position, and then the lower jaw again supports the weight of the entire set. If we come to the inside of the mouth, first of all, we have to move these down. You can see that these are all pretty much articulated. I don't know if these ones are. Yep, absolutely. So all of these little waterfalls can move, and you can basically put them wherever you want. And also actually the teeth, you can see, are painted with a light yellowish tone. They don't have quite the sharp look that the Spino's teeth did, but they still look pretty good. You can see the same again for the teeth on the lower jaw. But as you move through, I'd imagine this is the area where the Quetzalcoatlus is residing. We can see some vegetation back there, and then we kind of lead down and we start to see the cliffs that our Quetzalcoatlus is hanging out on. On these cliffs, there are a few pegs here and there as you move through that you can see to display some of the figures on. But we have all the really cool waterfalls and everything moving through. We have a nice blue translucent look to those, and again, as you can see, they are articulated, so you can basically display them however you want. Then you move down here, and you actually have a swimming Hadrosaur, which it's only the head that you can see down here, but it is a pretty cool looking head sculpt. If we kind of come around to the side, you can see that looks quite nice. Even has a little bit of decent detail. No real color outside of just the orangish tone, but it is a pretty nicely sculpted head sculpt, and as you can see, you can basically move that swimming Hadrosaur back and forth through that area. There's a little trackway there where it can kind of move around. On top of that, you also have this little area which hides a velociraptor, which we can see right now. Again, just kind of like some vegetation, and then all of a sudden you pull that over and the raptor pops up, and it is now a raptor attack. If we bring it around here, you can get a look at the raptor. He looks very cool. Again, definitely lunging up to attack. And then we also have the skeletal remains of a triceratops over here. We can see the skull as well as some of the bones. And I thought those were going to articulate. You can see you can pull the ribs up, basically articulate that area as well. Outside of that, you have some nice vegetation and everything here on the inside of the set, nicely sculpted, painted with a green. And then you also have the nice water down here again with that beautiful translucent blue that we have going on in there. So overall, the set is super cool, especially as far as like a diorama goes. And then you have all of these figures that, again, you can assemble pretty much wherever you want. I don't know if there's any real true way to do it that's any more so correct than any other way, but this is pretty much the way that it's displayed on the back of the box. You've got the T-Rex just standing here. There isn't even actually a peg for that area. There's a peg on the top of that little like lever to pop the raptor up, but that's really about it. But then you also have the Ankylosaurus up here on the ledge, and the Quetzalcoatlus on the back of the box isn't even attached anywhere. Somebody's just, you know, kind of flying it through, but I attached it up there because there was a nice peg spot, and it kind of just feels like that's where it should go. So it looks really neat for sure. And again, just like with the other set, does definitely have quite a bit of playability to it, and once it is assembled, man, that is such a super cool diorama, having an entire kind of Jurassic World here, basically on the inside of the mouth of a T-Rex. So again, Mattel absolutely doing a great job. I don't know if these figures are all going to stay if I kind of close the mouth. Pretty much. Again, I'm kind of probably crushing that little T-Rex in there. But as far as the size goes for the T-Rex, you're looking at about 4 3/4 inches or 12 centimeters. And then for a height, about 3.5 inches or 9 centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A Human Being next to our T-Rex, and you can see it's roughly the same size as the Spino set. And to show you that, there is the Spinosaurus and Tyrannosaurus Rex sets next to each other, and obviously they're fairly similar in size with just a bit more bulkiness to the head sculpt of the T-Rex. And just like I did in the Spinosaurus review, we do have a comparison next to one of the Jurassic World Rebirth Tyrannosaurus figures. So far, I don't have the Power Devour one. I have not found anywhere that actually has that one available, but we do have the Lab Lockdown version, and you can see again that they aren't really very similar in size, but they do look pretty fun next to each other. So yet another super cool Mattel set, again for Jurassic World Rebirth. They are doing such a great job with this toy line. I feel like there was a little bit more that came out for Jurassic World Dominion. I don't know why. They just really overloaded us with stuff for Dominion, but we do still have tons and tons of really fun stuff this time around for Rebirth, and these sets are probably some of the most surprising sets overall because I was not expecting Micro, again, Adventure Playsets similar to the old Trendmaster sets, but I'm absolutely loving them because they are just super cool, and they're also quite different from the stuff that we usually get, making them even more fun. And once you, again, look at the T-Rex head itself looks pretty awesome. Obviously, the proportions and everything are a little goofy for it, but it still looks really well done as far as the fine detail goes and does have some fun paintwork. And then once you open it up, you have, again, another world inside the mouth of the T-Rex with lots of really fun playability. Again, articulated waterfalls. You've got a raptor attack, a hadrosaur kind of swimming through, which is really, really neat. And then you also have all of the little micro figures in there with the Quetzalcoatlus, the Tyrannosaurus, as well as an Ankylosaurus, which is also really fun. And again, it's just in general a really neat idea, a very cool display piece, and I could absolutely see kids having fun playing with those as much as us adult collectors displaying them in our Jurassic collection rooms. So if you are interested in this, I purchased this again at Target, so check your local Target. If it's not there now, it should be at some point soon, so once you do see it, definitely pick it up and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.